Welcome back. So today we'll be talking about Azure Sentinel. So Azure Sentinel is a scalable cloud native security information and event management, which is SIEM, and security orchestration, automation and response solution. So the Microsoft Sentinel delivers intelligent security analytics and threat intelligence across the enterprise, providing a single solution for attack detection, threat visibility, proactive hunting, and threat response. So coming to the lab, we have already implemented till here. Now we are implementing Azure Sentinel and change instance severity using ARM templates. So this was the architecture for that. So coming to the tasks, the first one is we'll be using Azure Sentinel and we'll be creating rules that uses Azure Active data connector. Then we'll be creating playbooks, and then we'll create custom alerts and configure the playbooks. And then we want to invoke an incident and review the associated actions. So let's go jump into the video. So we have to click Microsoft Sentinel, click that. So here you have to associate this with your Microsoft Sentinel. So you just need to click this and you have to add. Since I already added it, it doesn't require right now, but initially you have to do that. So once that is done, so you can click this workspace, and since I've already implemented, I have got some few graphs here. However, if I go to the configurations and if you go with the data connectors, so here type Azure Activity. So you can see Azure Activity. I have already connected it, but I'll show you how this is done. So you can see we also have got some graphs. So if you click open connector, so initially you have to click the launch policy assignment wizard here, so you can check other details. You can read for more information here. So once that is done, make sure you launch this. And so coming to the scope would be the subscription. So if I click here, so this is a subscription, and don't select any resource group here. So select only subscription, and once that is done, just click select and let everything be the default one and go to the next step. So in the next step, you can see here primary log analytics workspace. Click that. So you have to select the appropriate workspace that you're dealing with, which is AZ500 13 workspace here. So click that and select. So if I go to the next step, so make sure it's system assigned management identity and the East US that your workspace is in. So once it is done, you can go to the next, and you can type any non-compliance message if you want, but it's an optional here. So finally you can go and review and create it. So once it is done, it will be connected. As you can see, there is a green mark when we were trying to search. It says connected. So I'm not performing that particular operation here. So once it is done, you can see some graphs based on the actions that we do. So coming to the task 3, we have to create a rule that uses Azure Active Directory connector. For that, let's go to the Sentinel again and click the workspace, and under the configurations, click analytics, and here we have active rules, rule templates and anomalies. So click the rule templates. So coming to the note, in the docs it says review the type of rules you can create. Each rule is associated with a specific data source. And in this rule, type suspicious. And so you can see this is the rule that has been already implemented, but let me show you how this is done. So you just need to click this and you have to create a rule. So, and the rule is medium severity. So if you click here, you can see there is a medium severity, and make it the default one, and let's go to the set rules logic. And here review all the sections and go to the next step. So it will be default, but you can just review it, what are the options here and how to configure them. So saying that, we can go to the next, which is incident settings. So click that, and here everything is default, and go to the automated response, and coming to automated response, here we have to go down, make it so this is default as well. So let me check if I'm missing anything. So pretty much that is the configurations that we have to do, and finally you have to review it and create it. So once this is done, now you can have this as active rule, as we have seen here, which says it's in use. So now coming to the task 4, we have to implement the playbooks. So coming to the playbooks is a Microsoft Sentinel, are based on the workflows built in Azure Logic apps, and a cloud service that helps you to schedule, automate and orchestrate tasks and workflows across systems throughout the enterprise. So this was the definition given. So let's go back. Now we have to create a playbook here. So if you see here, so we have implemented this Azure Sentinel and added the workspace to that. So we also need to create a change incident severity by using the ARMs. That is what we are doing in this task. Yeah. So if I go back, so if I click deploy custom, or you can just search here, or I usually search ARM and deploy custom template, and here you have to build your own template in the editor. Click that, and here load the file. So it will be under labs 15. This is the file that you have to load. Click that, and you'll be having the relevant resources related to that. Once it is done, make sure you save it and you can review it. So right now it's in Central US. Make sure it's East US, because everything we are dealing with the East US right now. So coming to the resource group, make sure select the resource group which is appropriate for this task, which is it 500 lab 13 14 15. And coming to username, make sure you keep your email ID. In this case, I'll just keep my email ID. So once it's done, you have to review and create it. So it will be done. So if you go back, and if you go to the resources, under this resource group, these are the all resources which we have deployed. So if I go to the change instant manage, that has been deployed. So this is the logic app. So you can see everything we are dealing with is East US. So you have to keep East US in this case. So if I go to the change incident management, and here click edit, so here there are 4 different sections, in which initially you have to log into these 4 sections. So you just need to click login, and you have to keep your username and password. In this case, this is my main owner, so you have to just log in. So once it is done, you have to save it. So you can check here. So this will be the relevant options for this. So to make visible this, you have to sign up here. So once this is done, the next task is to create a custom rule and configure a playbook as an automated response. For that, we have to go back to the Sentinel again. So if I go back, I can see Sentinel, and here under configurations, click the analytics, and here we have to create a rule, a scheduled query. If I click create, you can see there is a scheduled query. Click that, and the name will be playbook demo. And you can keep the description if you want. And coming to the tactics, we have different tactics here. So in this case, you will be selecting initial access. So basically, if you try to compromise any machine, so these are the different tasks that will be performed. So these are under cyber kill chain model and MITRE framework. So I already kept some videos, but yeah, if you like more about, if you're interested in, please let me know in the comments so that I can add them in the future videos. Saying that, let's keep the initial access and go to the set rule logic, and here we have to add the query, which you can find in the GitHub. Copy this, and once this is done, you have to make sure everything is default. And here, coming to query scheduling, it should be like 5 minutes. You have to change it. So if I change to 5 minutes and go to the next, and everything will be default in this case. Go to automatic response, default in this case as well. So once it is done, you have to just review it and you have to create it. So validation has been passed, so you can create this particular playbook. So I've already created it, so I'm not doing it right now. So the next task is to invoke an incident, review associated actions. For that, we have to keep just-in-time access. So if I go back to my Defender, so actually there was some error here, because if you check the previous video, we have downloaded from the latest version. Using this latest Cloud Shell, we have deployed our resources, but we have to go to the previous version, and from there we have to deploy. Since I use the latest version, I'm getting like few errors, so that is what I couldn't proceed with. So if I go to the workload protections, so here under just in time, you can see your VM, and here you have to proceed with that. So you have to click that, and once you create the rule, then so you have to click that virtual machine and click the configurations, and you have to enable the just in time. So once it is done, you can delete that. So when you delete that in the Sentinel, there will be an alert generated. It may take some time, but it will be generated in the end. However, you can also go to virtual machines, and you can add just in time here as well. So it will be in configurations, click that, and you can see it's already on, but because of the version issue, I'm getting error, so you can just on from here as well. So this is how we can do it. So if we go back and virtual machine, sorry, go to the Sentinel, and space here, overview. Okay, let me go back to Defender. The score is 56. Okay, let's try to fix some issues. click this, if I click fix one resource, so the remediation was successful. If I go back, I click this, and if I go to the view recommendations here, it is the same. Click this, let's say exempt this in this case. So let's say mitigated and create. It was mitigated, create. So I have exempted this. If I go back, recommendations, if I try to refresh, if I go back, so let me do the same with the recommendations. So I'm going with high severity, and let me exempt this all. So just to show you how this works, click, it's done, go back and refresh the page. This resolved, view recommendations, and you can fix the relevant recommendations accordingly. So once it is done, even in Sentinel, if I go here, if I go, so you can see the total number of events in the last 24 hours, and you can do the custom as well if you want. So logs, so you can select the logs accordingly. I think I have told this in the previous videos. So it's not for this lab. Yeah, so that's it for now. Once it is done, make sure you delete all the resources which are there in this particular resource group. So if you resource group, the services and all, it will be deleted accordingly. So you can find the command in the GitHub. So if I go to here and so this is the command that you need to paste. So once it is done, all the resources and services related to this resource group will be deleted accordingly. So yeah, I hope you guys have understood the concept here. So if you like the video, please click like below, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys.